In the days, Scots virtual religious service will be opening with musical composition or Psalm 4:4, followed by a letter from Jeames, a Screiven of Jeames. Musical composition 4. Hearken to me, when I cry on ye, Almighty, o all my righteousness. When I was sair deen till, ye loust me. Be good to me, and talk tent o' my prayers. O ye sons of men, fu muckle longer will ye turn my esteem to shame, and set your hearts on fairlies, and chase after lees. Ken this, a maester has set aside all those like him, folk for himself. A maester hears when I cry till him. Nae matter fu honger ye might be, do nae wrong. Think about it, when you're lying in your bed, hold your peace. Pie your jaws to a maester, and lippen to him, to be wi' ye. There are mony fa say, fa will shew his ony guid. Jesus, lift up a licht o' your face on his. Ye've made my heart glad, mair nor them fa have a wrouth o' meal, on new wine. Nu I'll lie at my doon in peace to sleep. For naebody but ye, Almighty, Master Jesus, will haud me out o' ill hands. And now we'll read a letter from the Screiven of Jeames. Chapter 1. For Jeames, a servant of Almighty, on a Master Jesus anointed. All the best to 12 clans scattered all over a world. From all kind of sair vex torment ye, my friends, count yourselves fortnot, kenning they'll come at ye to try your faith, and prove that ye can pit up wi' fitever comes your way. And gin ye pit up wi' ills long enough, you'll win the strength to be hale, and wint for naething. And gin ony of ye dinna ken fu to deal wi' something, just speer at Almighty, for gies generously to all folk without mocking up feel of them, nor gien them an hour gang. But ye maun speer in faith, without ony doubts in your mind, 'cause a body for his doubts is like a waves i' the sea, carried for it by the wind, it, and blown back and east. That kind of body canna expect to get naething fae Almighty. A body for canna mock their mind up can never gang a straight road. The body that's pure will be real pleased when Almighty raises them up, and a wealthy be glad when Almighty casts them down. A wealthy body will wither awa like a flurries. Up comes a sin wi' a burning heat, and the girth withers and the flowers fall awa, their bonny heaties dropping. Same way a wealthy folk will fade awa as they gang about their business. Blissed are a folk that pit up wi' temptation, 'cause ance they've been tested, they'll win the crown of life promised to them at Lou Almighty. Folk mauna say, when they're tempted, I'm being tempted by Almighty, 'cause Almighty canna be tempted wi' ony ill, and he doesna tempt naebody either. Folk are tempted when they're snared by their ain lust, or desires, and enticed awa, and ance in o' them, a lust gives birth to ill deeds, and ill deeds to death. Mak nae mistake about it, that, my loons and quines. All thing good we have, and all good gear that comes till us, comes fae being, fae Father o all licht. for never changes nor costs ony shada bit turnin. Through his ain octans he made as his ain bairns, be a word of troth. Say we should be foremost among all his creatures. There's nae doubt about this, my friends. You maun be quick to hearken, slow to speak, and slow to get angert. 'Cause your anger never does a good work almighty. A wa sign, we all ats fool, or feel, on all other coarseness, and be humble as ye talk in a message at almighty his shaven in your hearts. At'll save your sentient beings. But dinna just hearken till a message. Occupy it, tee. A chill out hearkens till it, and does naething about it, is like a chill looking at his ain face in a glass. Aye, he sees himself, but syne gangs about fit he was doing, forgetting fit kind of chill he saw in the glass. But the body for looks into a perfect glass of Almighty's law, a law of freedom, and talks wi' it, is nae a kind of body for sees and forgets. This is a body for pits a law into practice and wins happiness. Gin ony een among ye appears to be religious, but canna hold their tongue, they're mislipping in themselves. Their religion's nae worth a dockin. Religion at's pure and true in a sick to Almighty a Father will shew itself through visiting fatherless bairns and sair-hearted widows, and keeping yourself fae being filed by a warl. Chapter 12. Nu, my brothers and sisters, as believers in our Meester Jesus anointed, for reigns in esteem, ye maun never be bigsy. Nu, supposing there comes till your meeting a weel-rigged chiel, wi' a gowd ring on his finger, and a peer money wi' ora duddies. Nu, supposing ye pay great attention till a weel-rigged chiel, and say till him, "Tak your ease here," and ye say till a peer money, "Stan our air," wid ye, or gin ye maun, ye can sit here on a fleer aneth my fit steel. Does that nae prove at your being picky, and are thinking ill in a way ye mak your mind up? Hearken, my friends, his Almighty nae chosen them for peer in the een or a warl to be wealthy in a faith, and to heir a kingdom he has promised to them who follow him. But ye've insulted the peer money, yet it's a wealthy at boss ye about and haul ye afore a court. Is it nae a wealthy for blaspheme a estimate name at your kent be? Gin ye abide by a royal law, and a lawn as set out by in Scripture, loo your neighbour like yoursel, at's fine. But gin ye allow bigsiness at's course to set in, you're broken Almighty's law. I mind a body for keeps till a hale law, bar a exception, breaks all laws. The een for said, "Ye winna lie wi' another man's wife," said, "Ye winna murder." T. Gin ye were to keep clear o' lying wi' another weeman, but gang out and murder a body, you're broken a hale o' Almighty's law. Anyway, you should speak and act like folk will be judged by a law of freedom. If folk mak nae allowances for others, will hae none made for them. Mercy aye wins our judgment. Nu, my friends, fit east is it to say, ye have faith, gin ye do naething to shew it. Cannot kind of faith save you? Supposing ye have brothers and sisters, for have nae clays to wear, and are in wint o' mate daily day, and een o' ye says till them, Good luck till ye, I hope ye keep warm, and have enough to eat. And still and on, ye gie them naething to full their wints. Fitting the world's a guid o' that. It's the same wi' faith, gin it's all it's lean, on his nae auction. It's as guid as deed. But ye must say, ye have faith, and I'll have auction. To that I say, shew me fu anybody can have faith without auctions, and I'll prove my faith till ye throw my auctions. Ye have enough faith to believe there's the Almighty. That's fine. It deals have faith like that, and it gars them shock. But can ye nae see, ye gype, at faith without the richt auctions is deed and useless. Fit to boot Abraham were forbear. Was it nae through his auction on offering his son Isaac as a sacrifice on an altar at he was justified? Can ye nae see at his faith in on his actions gaed hand in hand? At his faith was made perfect by his actions? That's fit the scripture means when it says, Abraham believed in Almighty, and cause of his faith, Almighty accepted him as righteousness, or as righteous. And he was called a friend of Almighty. Ye see then, it's through their actions and nae by faith alone, at folk are justified. It same's true of Rahab, a whore. She was justified but fit she did in talking in the messengers or sins, and sending them awa by another road. Aye, just as a body without the spirit is dead, say then, faith without action is dead and all. Chapter 3. Dinna all strive to be domines. I mind a domine is judged by a higher standard nor a lave. We mock all kind of mistakes, but the body for never says a wrong thing can think of themselves as perfect. 'Cause gin they can control their tongue, they can control their hale cell. We can lead a horse by a bit in its moo, on a muckle boat for all its size, on a force o' wind ahind it. A little wee rudder can steer forever a skipper seeks to gang. A tongue's a gey small thing, but oh, fitting a blind it can dee. Look fu big a fire a wee sparky can mock. A tongue is like a fire. It can dee a lot o' ill. It can poison were hale body, mocking all were life a bleeze like hell. All kind of beasties, birdies, creepin' crawlies, and nae things at bide in the sea, can be, and are tamed by man. But naebody can tame that tongue. It's coarse and out o' hand, full o' deadly poison. We bliss Almighty a Father wi' it, and we swear at t'other folk. Far made in Almighty's likeness, wi' it. Blessings and swearing come out o' a same moo. My friends, is kind of thing often happen. Does a spring pour out sweet water and sour water at the same time? Have you ever seen figs growing on an olive tree, or a vine with figs on it? Say a spring canna gie salt water and fresh water at the same time. Fa's clever and understanding amoya. Let them prove it wi' guid living and a canniness at comes o' learning. But gin your hearts fu' of jealousy and strife, dinna blaw aboot your learning, 'cause at'll be dean ill. Counter till a troth. Sick learning disna come doon fair bean, but it's always swirl, sensual, devilish. 'Cause forever there's jealousy and strife, all thing will be throw ither, and there will be all kind of ill. A learning that comes fair bean is first pure, sign peaceful, deuce, fine to get on wi, strict for it, and full thoughts of body conthol, and kindly wise of dean, we nae favorites, nor hypocrisy. All greediness is the hearse that comes to them for shaw the seeds of peace. Chapter 4. Fit causes strife and quarreling amo you. They come fae your lusting or desiring for pleasure, at's aye fecting in your intimers. You're second something you canna hae. You're jealous and envious on either at fit either folk have, and fit ye dinna hae yourselves, and you'll kill for it. Ye fecht wi een anither, but ye hinna got fit your second because ye hinna spirit that almighty for it. When ye div spear, ye dinna get it 'cause ye dinna spear a richt gate. Just second things to share your pleasures. Ye false, unfaithful lot. Have ye never heard at to be a warld's friend mocks ye the enemy o' Almighty? Anybody that talks on to be a warld's friend turns until the enemy o' Almighty. Div ye think there's nae truth in a scripture when it says, at the spirit Almighty planted in us turns to envious desires? But the mercy he gives is stronger. That's a why he says, Almighty resists the prude, but gives mercy till a humble. Be humble, sign, afore Almighty. Stand up till a deal, and he'll flee awa. Faye. Haud in aboot to Almighty, and he'll haud in aboot to you. Gin ye've deen ill, mark your hands clean. Gin you're a twa minds, see at your hearts are made pure. Be sorrowful, mourn and greet. Turn your locking into mourning, and your coarseness to doon amu. Humble yourselves afore a maester, and he'll raise you up. Dinna speak ill o' een anither, my friends. Gin ye div, you're jeeging your brither and setting yoursel up to speak ill o' Almighty's law, and to jeege at law. And gin ye jeege a law instead o' keeping till a law, you're setting yoursel up as a jeege. And there's but the a jeege, him fa can save life or knock it. Say, fa are ye to jeege your neeper? Nu listen, ye ought say, we're gone to sick a place, a day or a morn, and we'll bide there for a hale year, and buy and sell, and mock some siller. Food if ye ken fit's gone to happen a morn. Fit after all, is your life. You're just like a yom of vapor, seen a minute, and sign uta sick the neast. Fit ye ought to say is, gin a meester will dee is or aught. But instead, you're boasting and blawing on aught's niver gweed. Weel then, them fa ken the gweed they ought to dee, and divot are nae guilty o' ill dean. Chapter 5. Nu a word to you wealthy folk. Awa and roar and greet for a miseries at's comin' till ya. Your wealth is rotten, your clay's mock-etten. Your gold and silver's conquered. Aye, their very roost is a sign agin ya, and will eat your flesh like fire. You've piled up a gay stash this last days. Ye hinna pie the wages o' your feedmen, on it's shootin' out agin ye. On the grumblins o' your hairsters, ye didna pie his one till a lugs o' a maester o' horse. Your life here's been e'en o' pleasure, unwantonness. You've foughten yourselves for a day o' slaughter. You've trumpet on guid folk, and hid them deen o' wawie. And there was nathan they could dee, to haud ye on fedeein' it. Hae patience, my friends, as ye wait for a maester to come. Look at the farmer, waitin' for his precious crop to grow. He just has to content himself, as he waits for a early and late rain. Say ye maun hae patience, and be stout-hearted, cause a maester's comin' is near han. Dinna complain aboot een anither, my friends. Ye mith be the een at fault. See, a judge himself is standing afore a door. Mine on a prophets forspak i the name o' a maester, and talk them as your example o' long-suffering and patience. Mine we count them happy, for steed firm. You've heard o' a patience o' Job, and fu he lood, and fu a maester dealt wi' him i the hindereen. Say you've seen at the maester is merciful, and his pity on is. But the bein all, my friends, dinna be fu mood, or dinna be feel mood, dinna swear be heaven, nor be earth, nor be ony other aith. Let your eye be eye, and your nay na be na, and ye winna gang far wrong. Is ony a more ye sir come out? Let him pray. Is ony happy? Let him sing musical compositions. Is onybody nae weel amo ye? Let them cry on the Boracacody elders, and let them pray o'er him, anointing him wi' oil i the name o' a maester, a prayer, Jesus. A prayer offered in faith will save a body fa's nae weel. A maester will mak them all better, as gin they've deen ill, they'll be forgien. Confess your faults to een anither, and pray for een anither, and you'll be made all better. Guid folks' prayers have tremendous power. Elijah was a chiel wi' the same failings as we have, and he prayed sair at it widna rain, and nae a drop fell on the ground for 3.5 year. Syne he prayed again, and the heavens gied rain on the ground sprouted as it had aye deen. My friends, gin ony o' ye div wanner fair troth, and anither manages to fess him back, syne a chiel for fesses ye back for your ill wise, his savat the sentient being for death, and will counsel out the hauntle o' ill deans. And that concludes our reading of the Screiven of Jeames to the Doric Caldines. Taken from, talking fra, the Doric Old and New Testament, today's readings, rendered in Doric Scots by Gordan Hay, available through doricbooks.com. Get yourself a copy to follow along. Until next time, be heartened, be sealful, and endure till the end.